Well, hi there. This is Ron Rogers, and I'm going to explain a little bit about aircraft systems here initially, then talk a little bit about a flight I recently took from Chicago to Denver. Now, I know you're thinking, hey, this is not your Great Lakes, and it's no, there it is. Okay, I want to point this out. You see that? That's the AC bus. It just went by. I'm sure you've all heard of airliners and AC buses. So that's it. If you've ever wondered what the AC bus looks like, and this is a 737 now. He's got just probably about 5 flaps there, I think. Oh, there comes the DC bus. The DC bus coming the other direction. You know, AC one way, DC the other. Now, something also I think very interesting right there in the yellow. That is the emergency bus. Okay, good to know. Now, the stairs. There's about one emergency at O'Hare a day, so it's not unusual to see fire trucks and stuff, but you never like to see the stairs going out. That's not a good sign. That, of course, they send it out anytime you have an emergency because they think, if you stop on the runway, you want to get people off, and if you don't want to deploy the slides and all that fun stuff, they can bring stairs up to it and help you get off. But all right, going out to Denver from Chicago, and of course you notice not only am I not in the left seat, I'm in the right seat. Well, if I was doing a checkout, and I'm going to tell you some dreams I have as a retired airline pilot. They're kind of weird, and I've talked to a few other people about these type of dreams. But the thing I miss about the airline flying is two things. First of all, is the people. I just enjoy the people and talking to them and associating. It's just a lot of fun. That's a fun thing about being an airline pilot, especially if you're an airline captain, because it's kind of a cool deal, especially a wide-body captain. That's especially neat. And my my oldest son, who I taught to fly, just upgraded to wide-body captain on the 777. He did it at 51. I did it at 52, so he's slightly ahead of me, but he's going to be single-digit numbers the last few years here at United, so that's kind of cool. Now, one thing I want to point out, you see that little thing out there that's in the picture there? Whoop, whoop, it's almost gone away. It'll come back. Yep, we're going out on 27 left. That's so you know that's 27 left, and we're actually getting right out here. We got off the gate and right out. Now that thing is a wingtip, and it's also got the little bottom part there. Now, Airbus called those a sail, and Airbus had both the top and the bottom part of the winglet there. And it's interesting. See, this is on a 737, because I've been in meetings when I was doing the new Aircraft Evaluation and Certification Committee and Airworthiness and Performance Committee, where Boeing explained in the meeting that they don't need winglets like this because Boeing knows how to design a wing. So I think it's kind of interesting that these things have shown up. Of course, those engineers have probably retired by now, so they don't. They got new engineers who go. That's kind of a cool deal. So, and some of these get pretty huge, but we're waiting for takeoff clearance here. Now, I mentioned there's a couple of things I miss about airline flying. And the first one is the people, probably foremost, the crews and everybody. The second one is the speed. Now, like I said, this isn't my Great Lakes. It isn't my 310. This thing can almost taxi faster than I can fly. But we're sitting back there. And the thing that I really miss about not flying jets is the speed, because these things are just nice and fast. And I really miss the ability to go places fast. It's a lot of fun. So we get here, we rotate, we take off, we get the gear and flaps up shortly. Not quite yet. It's a little bit early to do that. That can have very not nice consequences if we're too early. But we're there we go. We became airborne, so we're getting the gear up, and the flaps will come up in just a bit once we get through our first little initial climb here. And the concrete at O'Hare has changed so much. I would be totally lost now. And of course, it's this is just a couple days ago, and it's the winter time. But of course, around O'Hare, anybody who's flown in and out of there, and there's probably people who are watching this who haven't flown airliners a bunch, but it's there's just a lot of industrial type building there, because warehouses don't tend to complain about noise as much as other people. But of course, O'Hare was just out really in the middle of nowhere when it was first placed there, in those runways. The initial runway, the triangular runway, and 3-6 are all gone. That's amazing. In my career, I actually saw one person take off on runway 3-6. I only saw it once. I wasn't even sure it was an active runway. But anyway, okay, we're cleaned up here. We're going fast. And you notice the spoilers come up a little bit to assist in roll control. When you get more than 5 degrees of lateral displacement on the yoke, that's when the spoilers will come up to aid in the roll. So it's kind of amazing. The time it takes to get to 10,000 feet is just really quick. And of course, the cruise speed is nice. And see, I made the mistake, and that's the trouble with avgas type fuel in my 310, which burns around 25 gallons an hour. I run it Lena peak, so I cruise at about 200 miles per hour, about 25 gallons. But I made the mention to my wife that I can buy airline tickets cheaper than I can put gas in the 310 and fly this trip. I've flown to Denver a number of times in the 310. It's about a 5-hour trip, and really door to door, it's just about the same length of time. But the nice thing about the airline travel, if you don't have to put up with the TSA people and the TSA people in Denver. There was this one guy, oh my God, I feel sorry for him. He must not have a very good life. But anyway, I digress. Once you get through TSA and all that good stuff, you get through the boarding area 12 and the crowds getting on there, and you get your stuff stowed away, and you get your kind of a tight seat because we have the coach seats. Then it's not too bad. Once you get going, and it's a kind of a quick 2 hours. So the flight time is 2 hours instead of 4 hours. It's easier to get up to go to the bathroom and stuff like that, and it's also quicker, and people will bring you drinks. I mean, I'll give my wife a bottle of water and stuff, and that's about all we get anymore. And the little the itty bitty pretzels. Can you imagine what airline travel will be like in 50 years? Because you used to always get a meal on a flight, even a short one like this, and just yeah, it's not as nice as it used to be, but we're getting up there and picking up the speed and heading on to Denver. Now, I'm not going to do the whole thing because I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours and talk. People would die if I did that. So no, not going to do that. But I'm just going to have the little portion here that we get up to cruise, and then I'm going to show you once we start into Denver. Now, if you've got the little display, see, here it is, and the dash line is the programmed route, and of course, this guy he must have trouble keeping the needle centered. No, I'm joking there. What really happens, of course, as you probably know, is you put in the whole VNAV arrival, and you've got all these, especially going into Denver, you've got all these fixes and altitudes and between it. And when we used to fly those manually in the 27, you'd have to calculate and hit in the window of the descent and stuff like that. Now with the VNAV, as long as you don't have any unusual situations, you'll get a nice descent. Of course, the thing is, you start going high on it, and then you get a little bit of turbulence there. You get high on it, and then it finally just pops up. When it realizes it's not going to be able to make the constraints, it pops up with a little drag required. Always kind of cute, And the joke is the speed brakes are for my mistakes as a pilot, not for the center's mistakes where they keep you too high. That's kind of an old joke. But anyway, once they pull you off at the arrival, usually it makes life much easier. They pulled us off to land to the south and the south runway here. So once you do that, they'll typically just give you a descent to an altitude, and all the VNAV problem and situation goes away. But Denver is always fun to fly into. It's a high altitude airport, nice and dry, and you can get all sorts of gusty wind conditions. And the flaps are coming out. You see a little bit of spoiler action there. We're getting ready to come around here on final. And the airplane actually, now this is one of the crashy 737s. You know, it's one of the Maxes. I hate to say that. I didn't want to say that to any of the passengers, but you know, my wife and I joked about that. But you know, they've kind of got that thing taken care of. Although they just applied on the newer aircraft to not have to comply with certain safety regulations, and then they wanted to try to get out of the lawsuit with the two aircraft that crash. Okay, oh come on, Boeing, give me a break. Own up to your responsibility. Things haven't been going for Boeing actually too well lately, and they need to get their act together. But they finally got a fighter. Bid. Now, the thing about those, getting various programs is what the government does is they try to keep, and there's a nice little airport down there, I digress, but they try to keep the manufacturing capability going. They don't give it to all, they don't give it to all one manufacturer, so Boeing has nothing to do and they go bankrupt. So they keep spreading it around. So sometimes it's not always the, best design, let's put it that way, but they give it to the people that they need to keep going. But then the Air Force and the various people, they can influence the design quite a bit. So even if there's some deficiencies, they'll get that corrected. But so we're getting more and more flaps down here, and we have the Fowler flap with the slots in there, the slotted Fowler flap. But Denver can always be fun with the wind gusts and stuff, and of course you get more you can get more wind shear type events going into Denver. Now this we're in the winter here, so that pretty much doesn't exist. You've got the other thing of you can have a blizzard one day and 70 degrees the next. But we're coming into land here. It's getting lower and lower. And the interesting thing about it is they've done a pretty good design on the gear, because I never really heard it come down. But I knew it was down. Well, I didn't know it was down until we, just had a nice landing and there wasn't loud noises, scratching, and sparks. So, that was the first time for absolute sure I knew the gear was down, because otherwise you didn't hear it come down and clunk. But I'm not setting immediately over it. And there are the spoilers, coming up there in the roll control. And the winds they weren't too bad today. They were a little gusty out of the south, but there we're coming in over the underrun, or the other direction, the overrun, and we get a reasonably nice touchdown here. As you get longer on these models, they say like the 900 series is about like landing the 27. It can be a little tricky, and of course those are the ground spoilers that come up. The flight spoilers do double duty as ground spoilers, killing the lift. And you see just a little bit of bouncing there. Of course, the wing, if it doesn't bounce, it'll break. So you got to have a little bit of flexion there. But the number of times and they're stowing the speed brakes, but the number of times that I have flown into Denver, I mean, just so many times. But now I'm riding as a passenger, and we're turning off into the gate area. And this is... I remember when we flew out of Stapleton, and first time I came into here, just a massive amount of concrete and runways. Have you seen it? In fact, my son he flew the Denver to Honolulu trip, and there's a 16,000 foot north-south runway there that used, and I took off fully loaded in a 777 on a summer day, and we used every bit of that 16,000 foot runway, let me tell you, because it just takes a long time. But we cleared the runway here, and we're taxiing into the gate. And I'll kind of let you watch the rest of that if you so desire. You can see the gates, but I think I've given enough commentary without putting, hopefully, too many people to sleep, including myself here. But that's our quite quick flight from Chicago here to Denver to go out and visit my daughter on her birthday. So, hey, thanks for watching, and I hope you like this slight digression from some of my normal type of videos, although it is a flying video of sorts. It's a pasture flying video, but it's a flying video. Hey, thanks for watching.
refresh your United app. If you have one, you might have already been rebooked for the next flight. If you don't, the gate agent at the gate will be waiting and helping us out, helping you out to find the right direction to your next gate. Also, please check the monitors at the gate for the destinations you're looking for in the right gate. Also, we're asking if you please don't have, if you don't have tight connection and Denver is your final destination, please remain seated and allow those passengers who have tight connection to deplane first. We have a lot of passengers with tight connections in the back of the aircraft. So once again, we would appreciate if you stay seated for a couple minutes and let those people with tight connections to exit first. From entire crew, Starline's partners, we telling you thank you for choosing to fly with us today. We appreciate your business and we enjoy to have you as our guests on today's flight. We're looking forward to meet you on the future United trips. We have a wonderful rest of your day and welcome to Denver.
So we've got like 4 minutes or so.
Airport transit system out of service at O'Hare. Spring break travel begins. I'm glad we took an Uber right to the terminal.